Oh goodness, look at this. Oh man, isn't that amazing? That's just so beautiful. Golly, those are all, these three for sure are sellable. That one might be as well by the time they're done with it. They're working on it still. Same thing on this side. Isn't that just beautiful? Look how beautiful that is. Man, oh man, what do y'all think of this bee yard here in Slocum, Alabama? Obviously, these are some very strong colonies. They've been packing honey in now here for a few weeks, and it's an exciting time of the year. Also, they look strong right now. It's kind of early in the morning here on June 6th, and a lot of the bees are still home. I think we're gonna have some honey to harvest. What do y'all think? This Slocum bee yard is just doing great. We got these colonies stacked up. Some of them have 4 supers on them. I think they're probably full of honey. We're about to find out. We plan to harvest honey in 2 weeks. That's gonna be quite the adventure. I hope you'll stay tuned. I plan to make a video on that adventure. It always is every year, and this year we have another great crew that's lining up to really make for a hard-working, wonderful time. My goals today here in Slocum, Alabama are to peek in on these colonies, check on the honey stores, see kind of like get a little bit of a ballpark of what we're gonna have. I'm gonna do that. I'm also wanna kind of dig down a little bit and see if we have some Simplkomb being filled out. Hopefully we will. They've been hesitant to draw it out. I put the Simplkomb on, I think about a month ago, maybe a little more than a month ago. And about the time I put it on there, the honey flow stopped for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then it picked back up big time when the tallow bloomed. Almost 2 weeks ago, I was out here and I did a video on robbing the poor and giving to the rich. I don't know if you saw that video, but I took any supers that were on weak colonies that they weren't really filling it out, and I put it on the stronger colonies to hopefully get them to fill it out with honey. And so we're going to see if that was successful today. I also actually put a few boxes of foundation on these colonies. Some of them were just so packed out with honey. I thought maybe they would have a chance to draw some comb out for me on some fresh foundation. Not going to take a long time to do this. I'm going to be pretty quick with what I'm doing, just peek in on these colonies briefly. When I'm done with that, we will probably just weed eat around the hives here in this area, get it cleaned up a little bit. They're not in horrible shape, but I think they could use a little cleanup. One thing about our honey flow here, I think it's almost over. They may still be bringing a little bit in, but the main flow here in Southeast Alabama is the Chinese tallow tree, AKA popcorn trees. A lot of people call them popcorn trees. And this place right here is surrounded, just tallow is everywhere. There's a great big tallow tree just right there, like what, 40, 50 feet away, and it's all around this little lake down here. The tallow is interesting in that it will bloom over a period of what, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks sometimes. And the initial, what I call the primary bloom, is a long kind of bloom that it comes out and then it kind of just drops over, and the bees work it really hard. It's kind of a greenish yellow bloom. I did a video on it recently, and the bees love it. They pack these hives full of honey. Once the initial or primary bloom drops off, then it will send out new shoots, and I call it the secondary bloom. I'm not sure what it's really called. Those blooms are usually shorter and they don't tend to droop over like the initial ones do. And I don't know how much the bees work the secondary blooms, but there are a lot of trees right now that are in the secondary bloom stage. There's a few that still have the primary bloom that's still hanging on the trees, but it's starting to turn brown a little bit. But the secondary blooms are everywhere around here. And the cool thing about tallow is also it doesn't all bloom at the same time. Like you'll have some trees that are blooming in full bloom, like about what, 3 or 4 weeks ago we had that happening. And then there are others that are just barely beginning to send shoots up. And so it's an extended flow. It just works really well. And I love it when we have a good tallow flow. It's amazing how, I like to compare the honey flow here to basically a water hose versus a fire hose. In the spring, when the privet and other spring flowers are blooming, sometimes we'll get a pretty nice flow. And we've already harvested our spring honey, and it's really good honey, but it's kind of like it's flowing in pretty consistently, and they'll put some in, they pack it away. And then there's usually a little bit of a gap between the initial spring flow and what I call our summer flow. It's really a late spring flow, but it's basically the tallow flow. And when that tallow flow kicks in, it is like a fire hose is turned on. They just can't hardly pack it in fast enough. It's so much fun when that's happening. And unfortunately, we're near the end of that, I think, right now. There's a few trees out there blooming still, and the bees still seem happy. They're not coming after me right now, so they must still be getting it from somewhere. Now, if you look back here, you'll see that some of these hives, you might be able to see they're bearded up significantly. It's kind of early in the morning. It's not 8:46 right now in the morning. And so I think as the sun comes out, as things warm up, as they kind of get going, hopefully there's some things for them to still work out there for a little bit. Let's peek in on some of these bees. Once again, we're gonna peek in on the honey situation. We're gonna just look at the Simplkomb real quick, and then we're gonna weed eat around these hives. That's my goal for today. Fast and furious, let's get it done. I'm not sure if you can hear it or not. I'm gonna kind of give you a couple of seconds to listen in here, but there is a little bit of a buzz, or like a little bit of a steady, calm, peaceful roar of these bees here in this bee yard right now. They're not really going crazy, flying out and foraging right now, but there's just a steady little buzz going on. Let me just go quiet for a few seconds and let you listen. This colony right here has 2 double deeps, 4 medium supers, and the middle 2 supers right here have 3 frames of Simplkomb right in the middle. This is actually the colony that I dug into when we set up the Simplkomb. So let's check in here and see how they're doing with that. It's been an amazing colony this year. Man, they got it glued down like crazy. This top box does not have Simplkomb in it. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness, look at this. Oh man, how beautiful is that? Wow. Not only have they filled up the frames, but they also put wax in this space right here where there's a little patty rim in the lid. So, man, that's impressive. I'm thinking, let's see, I'm hoping that we have some Simplkomb drawn out in here. I've just kind of left them alone here for several days. Didn't even come down here last weekend. They're getting a little bit feisty. I might have to get smoke all the way. Oh gosh, that's heavy. Well, I really don't want to. Yeah, they're attacking the camera. This to me kind of is an indication that the honey flow might be about over. So I'm gonna pull a frame out right here. I'm gonna have to get some smoke lit up actually. They are getting after me. Okay, let me get my smoker lit. We got it lit. Real gently puff them. I don't want a lot of smoke in my honey supers. It's enough hopefully to calm the bees down a bit. Oh, I hope we got some Simplkomb drawn out. Now remember, we have it in 2 boxes here, which probably is against the advice of the Simplkomb folks. I have it in this box and the one below. I knew this was a strong colony, but man, look at that, wow. Ah, beautiful capped honey, I love it. Oh, let's see what we have here. Oh, we got it glued in there. If you remember, there's this piece of following plastic here that they sent me to kind of keep the spacing proper. They haven't done much with it, I'm afraid, which is kind of odd. Oh wait, they're doing some stuff with it. Oh yeah, they're putting some stuff in there. Okay. Not like I had hoped. So we have, this one's really nice. This one's drawn out kind of vertically, kind of like wonky comb. They're drawing those out nice. Be careful with it. And yeah, they're drawing them out a little bit strange in this hive. This is too fat. Not sure what I should do. I think I'm just gonna put it back down in there. Now I am gonna scrape this one out and see if they'll rebuild, just like I do any regular wonky comb foundation. Maybe they will, this one too. Oh, a little bummed about that. Last year they drew it out really nice. This year they're real slow to do it though. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, looking down below, let's see what we have in the next box down. They have just literally packed honey everywhere they possibly could in this hive, so maybe I made a mistake by putting 2 supers on here instead of just 1 with the Simplkomb. Oh man, they've got this thing packed out so heavy. Oh gosh. All right, let's try this one out. That one may be a little better. I hope so. This is lower, it's closer to the brood box, obviously. They haven't done anything next to the follower. The next frame over they've done, but they're drawing it out. Okay. Drawing out a little wonky. Looks like they're drawing the middle two out pretty nice. This one right here is really nice. This one's a little bit wonky. For some reason, that third slot back they seem to do a little better with, at least in this particular frame. But those are going to be nice. Next one over is going to be nice, but they're not drawing them out very consistently throughout the whole thing. This one right here, they've got it glued together. I get it out of here. Let's see if I can. Yeah, they've really got that purplized down. Oh, there we go. They're drawing them out, but not as I expected. Now, I do still think there's somewhat of a flow coming in, so maybe they'll be able to do a little more, I hope. Got some bees stuck in there. It kind of came loose when I pulled it out. Get the bees out of there. So let's get that back flat again. Put it in there. We're gonna let him keep working on it. This was an experiment for me, the way we're doing it this year with the new Simplkomb and the little following sheets. Just gonna leave it in here until we pull honey in a couple of weeks. That's the best thing to do. They're working on it, but it's not quite doing with it what I'd hoped they would, at least not yet. We'll keep an eye on that. But as you can see, this colony has a lot of honey in it, and I imagine there's a lot of colonies out here that look just like this. Oh my gosh, it's heavy. Look at that beautiful honey. Oh, that one is so heavy. Impressive bees. Let's go look at another one that has Simplkomb and see if it looks any different. This colony is a double deep with 3 supers, the bottom of which has Simplkomb in it. So let's just kind of pull this apart, see what we have. Same story in the top box. Look at all that. I mean, packed with honey. Isn't that amazing? Next box down, I think it's probably 9 frame spacing, possibly, packed out with honey. Let's pull a frame out and look at this beautiful honey here. Isn't that amazing? That's just so beautiful. Golly. I'm proud of you, bees. You're doing a great job. Now we're down to the Simplkomb. Oh, I hope we have some good results here. I know some people really have had tremendous results with the Simplkomb. This one does not have the follower boards in it. Let's see if it made a difference. This one is drawn out beautifully, I think. Yes. The way I set this one up, at that day I didn't have enough follower boards, so I just put frames of capped honey right next to the Simplkomb frames. In this one we have 4 frames of Simplkomb, and look at this. The 2 on the end are very nice. Those are all. These 3 for sure are sellable. That one might be as well by the time they're done with it. They're working on it still. I have these things crammed together as close as they can be. I mean, really just pushed together hard. Oh yeah, we're gonna have plenty of frames. Beautiful. This one's a little wonky. Not sure why they're doing that. It's aggravating when they do that. But look at that. These 3 are pretty nice. They're just getting started on that one. So it looks like we're gonna have some to sell and distribute. Maybe the key is just don't use them in more than 1 super, which was kind of logical sense, but I just thought, well, that colony was so strong over there, we would try it, but it may have been a mistake. Little wonky right here. I don't know why they do that. I mean, I really had a nice coat of wax in there. Give a little more time to work on it, but yeah, we're getting a lot of more on this one. A lot of them are just beautiful and ready to go. Some they may or may not ever draw out. I don't know. We'll see. This one have 4 frames in it. That might be a good number. I don't know that you want to put a whole super in here of it. Last year I did that and they didn't draw the ones out on the outside very well. I ended up with 32. I think that would have been sellable out of 80. So that's why I wanted to kind of go up the middle. But yeah, 3 packages right there will be ready to go. Same thing on this side. Isn't that just beautiful? Look how beautiful that is. just absolutely beautiful. And we ate, the ones I made last year, we just ate, and they are just so good. This one's a little wonky. And break it out, see if they'll go ahead and draw it out. If you look at the frame next door, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but it's just simply capped honey right there out to the edge of the frame. And so the idea was that they wouldn't have too much bee space and do it wonky, and they've done a pretty darn good job with that. So, all right, I feel better about it. Just gonna leave them alone, let the bees keep working on it. Maybe they'll fill the ones out on the back. I hope they do. I think I put a box of brand new foundation under this box right here. I think it was about 11 days ago. It was on a Monday and today's Friday. Because these bees, they were packing the honey in so much, you can see this is no different. This hive right here, this top box, has nothing but capped honey in it. Well, that's maybe not quite fully capped, but it will be very soon, I would imagine. But they're just packing it in, so I'll see if they've done anything with it. Now, I didn't really expect them to because it's kind of late in the season. Let's pull out a couple frames. I don't think they've done a whole lot with it. They're putting a little bit in there, but it's definitely not, you know, fully drawn out. Hopefully we'll have enough of a flow for them to go ahead and finish filling it out. Obviously we got a little, this is a little wonky comb. They're building it on the edge right here. They're not really building it up off the comb. The actual comb that's coming up from the foundation looks pretty good in these, from what I can tell. Doing pretty good. I'm not sure. There they are again. I don't know. I just threw this in here. It's better sometimes to kind of stagger or checkerboard new foundation in amongst other frames. And this is Pureco standard waxed. Got on here a little bit late in the flow, and it's kind of old. It's been in the boxes for a while, so it probably could use another coat of wax. I just didn't have time to do that. So typically the Pureco products work well for me. And when I order them with triple wax is what I like to do if I ever order this. They've drawn out nicely in the past. Last year I had a bunch of it drawn out. They did great. I didn't really anticipate them completely drawing this out and filling it up with honey, but I had some hope. So we're gonna leave it on here a couple more weeks, and if they don't completely draw it out and fill it up, that's okay. If they do, that'll just be a bonus. Now this hive right here, I'm running a little different configuration. It's got a deep, single deep configuration here with a queen excluder and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 supers on top. There's probably, I'm guessing it was a split I did early in the year, and they packed out a single deep before the honey flow started in the spring, and I just went ahead and started stacking boxes. I think it's working okay. What do y'all think? I may have moved this box on here when I did the weak to strong hives. I probably did because it's so tall, and obviously that was a smart choice here because they're filling it up. They don't have this top box really capped yet, but they're working on it. And now I think with the honey flow beginning to die down a little bit here soon, maybe they'll focus on capping it. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Let me just shake it and see how wet it is. It looks like it is pretty wet. Nope, it's not really shaking out of the cells. It's dripping where it was broken with moving the lid. But so I'm anticipating 5 boxes of honey off of here. There's a check mark right over here on the side of the second box down, which means that's one that we pulled with the spring harvest, and I bet it's totally packed out as well. Let's look and see. Oh yeah, I think my bees are doing pretty good. What do y'all think? Very, very, very fun. What y'all think about that? I'm pretty excited. I'm stoked about these bees. They're doing pretty darn good. We got a lot of honey on these hives right here in Simplkomb, Alabama. I anticipate a similar result over in Appleton Farms, and then we'll get some honey from the other bee yards as well. But it's been a fun year so far. I realize that there are people in other parts of the country that have struggled. The weather has not been cooperative and they've had some issues. We're fortunate to be in a little pocket of the country right here where I think it's been a pretty darn good year, for at least for me. So we accomplished our goals. We peeked in, we checked the honey stores. Looks like they've packed these hives out. We checked the Simplkomb. We had some really nice packages ready to go there. Hopefully they'll get the rest of them filled out a little better. A little disappointed in where they're at, but we'll see how they look in a couple of weeks. I got some weed eating done and cleaned up a little bit around the hives. I also sprayed grub eggs for small hive beetle prevention. Didn't see a single beetle today, I don't think, so I don't think it's a problem right now. But as the summer progresses, as we pull the honey off, as the nectar flow stops, that's typically when we see our biggest problems in July, August, September. Here in Southeast Alabama is a brutal time of year. because the mites can spike, the hive beetles can spike, and the bee population is going down. It can create a perfect storm if you don't stay on top of it, but we'll worry about that in future videos. Right now I'm stoked about these bees. In a couple of weeks we're going to have a tremendous time. We're going to have folks coming in from different parts of the country, as well as a few local family and friends helping out. We're going to pull the honey 2 weeks from today and extract it the following day. I don't know if our harvest will be as big as it was last year, but I think it's going to be very significant and it's going to be great. I'm going to put a link for the video where I applied the Simplkomb to these colonies if you're interested in finding out more about it right here. And I'm also going to put a link for how we robbed the poor to give to the rich, the stronger colonies, in order to maximize honey production right here. We'll catch y'all next time.